Good afternoon, I'm Belinda De Lasheras with 2NURFM Hunter News. The Environment Protection Authority has been called into Rutherford following a large oil spill at a nearby industrial estate. It comes after a 60-metre square oil slick was discovered, blanketing a small lagoon during a routine inspection of Stony Creek yesterday, contractors stepping in promptly to clean up the contamination. EPA Hunter Manager Adam Gilligan says resident safety is at the top of the list.
Stony Creek runs for quite some distance around the perimeter of the Rutherford Industrial Estate and then down into a residential area. So we'll be focused over the next couple of weeks on looking at sources for this sort of material and a general patrol of Rutherford to look at environmental performance generally.
Newcastle ratepayers are poised to get more in their back pocket, with Port Waratah Coal Services forced to upgrade its offset for the impacts of the proposed T4 coal loader. State planning ordered the company to pay just $500,000 in levies, a portion of the $48 million which would have been required if the development had gone before council. The two are currently working on a new figure. It seems Newcastle's great heavy rail debate is far from over, with an appeal today being heard on the Supreme Court ruling the state government doesn't have the authority to remove the line. It follows the party's decision to retain the suspension of services while the matter's under deliberation, prompting fears about the costs of removing the corridor. Save Our Rail Vice President Kim Cross says commuters deserve better.
Good communities are about good connection. Previously, we could travel from Maitland into Newcastle in 30 minutes by train at the cost of $8. Now it can take us over an hour to travel by car on a congested highway.
Cessnock Council's moved to cut parking spaces at Black Hill Public School following concerns over children's safety. The facility's lost a third of its parking spots available to parents, children now forced to face the prospect of crossing a main road to and from school. P&C President Karen Stevenson says the issue's been made worse by a lack of staff parking.
We have on any given day at least 10 staff parking there, which means that every single designated car park will be taken by staff so that there is not a single space that is a legal space for families to park anywhere near the school. If they were to try and park elsewhere, they'd have to walk down scrub and mud to get into the school grounds.
But Council's Design Delivery Manager Katrina Kerr says there's still more work to come.
The measures that have been put in place at the moment are stage one, and we are looking for some longer-term solutions to improve the school zone. There's a number of options. We can achieve more parking on the same side of the road as the school gate with removal of tree stumps, which we're working towards at the moment.
The planning department's come under fire for falsely suggesting it's put mining giant Rio Tinto's claims to the test over economic benefits supposedly associated with the Mount Thorley Warkworth expansion. The company insists the project would provide ongoing work for around 1,200 people, raising $567 million in royalties and collecting more than $1 billion in net benefits to the state. But the Bulga-Milbrodale Progress Association claims it's blatant deception, with the only tests done to include the mine's own analysis.
Sport, thanks to our sponsor Warners Bay Sports Club.
Knights coach Rick Stone is urging fans not to lose faith despite several disappointing performances in recent weeks. The team has promised to show more heart when they take on the Titans at home this Saturday. Rick Stone says they can't afford to give their opponents a big head start.
As a team, we've shown some good signs in the last 2 weeks after our bye. Some good signs against Brisbane and some good signs late against Canberra, but we haven't been consistent enough, particularly with our starts, and obviously that's something we've got to address.
Basketball Damien Martin has offered his hometown of Gloucester to host the training camp for the Australian Boomers in the lead up to the 2016 Olympic Games. However, the team will train in Croatia before four warm-up games against Lithuania and Slovenia. And doctors are confident Maitland Magpies goalkeeper Matt Stonham will be able to return to life as normal after being diagnosed with a brain tumour. Stonham says all reports from the surgeon and specialist have been positive after he suffered a seizure on the field recently. That's sport. I'm Georgia Cowan.
2NURFM News Time is 12:10.